Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and my lovely NBs. We are here live at Treasure State Arena, home of your 2023 FBA champions, Montana Howlers, as they host another edition of Howlereen against the San Jose Thrust. My name is Marcus Baylor, and to my right is Ryan Eastman. How are you doing, dude?
I'm doing excellent, Marcus. It's only been a couple months since we were last here. First Halloween, we're going to be opening up as we watch them raise the banner for the 10th FBA championship that the Howlers have won. Back in the day, back when they won the previous championships, Halloween was just an exhibition game. Uh, but now that is the first game to start the new FBA season, we're getting to do it with some style here with a championship presentation.
Yeah, for sure. This is a very exciting time to be a Howlers fan, and really being witnessing the first franchise to ever hit double-digit championships in all of history. So this is going to be a very exciting time to see how this is going to go. And with this edition of Halloween, we're seeing some very different style of jerseys here, as both teams are rocking something completely fresh and new for this occasion.
Yep, you're definitely gonna be able to see Montana from anywhere on the court. Whereas
You can say that again.
San Jose almost dressing as the Howlers to an extent, but then again, with San Jose's refresh of their colors, they have a very similar palette to begin with to the Montana Howlers.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of a little bit of changes, San Jose did have a pretty big change in the starting lineup, and it's going to be interesting how this new squadron will kind of mosh together as we start this new year.
Yeah, they obviously lost their rookie off the rookie contract, Kenji Frost, who we saw pretty much take starting small forward all last season. Uh, and we'll have to see Adam getting to move back to small forward. It seems it's been a while since he played that position consistently. I mean, we're talking back in the Barnaby Jazz days. I feel like
Hmm.
was the last time we saw him take hold at small forward. The ferret Damian Myers probably going to be the starting power forward for the season, but you always have to keep in mind they brought in some good rookies as well. Uh, Fosso and Dixon, both bigs via the draft. So it's not like they're hurting for depth at that big for position.
Yeah, for sure. And as we're going to go ahead and get things going, the players seem very amped up to get things started.
Here we go.
Yep, and right now the FBA season is finally underway, as the Montana Howlers are the first one to grab the ball for the first possession, as Cross goes for a wide open lane here as he goes heading for a quick dunk, but he gets blocked.
Yeah, she getting absolutely rejected there on the lane to the basket. I believe that was Adam Cote with the block. It's going to be Myers getting the foul from behind by Roth. Go to the line for an and one opportunity.
Yeah, not a great start to see if you're a Howlers fan, being able to get blocked very easily for that transition layup for the and one opportunity. So with that, San Jose going over for the strong momentum if they go ahead and get for this free throw here.
Yeah, and Roth starting this game. Interesting to see if that is how they're going to go forward. Obviously, Montana brought back the vast majority of their starters that made actually their whole starting lineup that made the championship run. But Sutter is sitting on the bench here tonight to start game one of the FBA season.
Yeah, you gotta say that age is going to coming up to him, but you gotta see how much he's going to be playing as the game goes on. As Lavoy Williams hands it over to Williamson. Williamson for three, and it's in and out. So another empty possession there for the Howlers. And San Jose going to see if they can try to take advantage of that, and they do just that right there with a quick layup.
Yeah, I mean, he's 34 years old, so not necessarily old, but definitely getting up there in terms of FBA age. I would say he's 2 years away from the league. Maybe helped extend his career a little bit, got time to recuperate. As Tavella's going to take a three and hit it. San Jose coming in strong against the champions 8-0 run to start this game.
Yeah, and I'm sure that it's a great way to quiet down a very amped fan base here in the Howlers. This is one of the toughest places to play here in the FBA. Right now, just showing that they are not afraid to take on it. But Sequoia is able to go ahead and lay it up and in and have an opportunity to go for an old school 3-point play. But it's not going to be done. As
That's
Adam
okay. It
Casella gets the
happens.
rebound. But hey, at least they're finally on the board, ending that 8-0 run. But they need to get a stop here to probably get some momentum swing back on their side. And we get a quick blocking foul there by Andy Roth, so it will not be a shooting foul, but it will stay the thrust possession.
Yeah, that's 2 quick fouls for the Hawk, and I would be surprised if they sub him out just because 2 fouls in the first 2 minutes of the game is not a great way to start the season.
Yeah, and Joseph Nah not being able to get it down this time. Some great defense within the paint as Sid Croy hands over to Williamson, who immediately hands over to Cross. And Lavoy Williams, who has been a star in the finals last year, going for a mid-ranger, and it's going to be in and out, but Tatera is able to lay it up and in.
Now Montana finally getting on the board here, down by 4.
Yeah, right now we get a quick dunk there from, I believe that was Joseph Nah. Once again, just really showing some offensive prowess here for the Thrust. The Thrust really taking it on there, but it really comes to no surprise considering that their new coach is someone who was the former head coach for the Howlers. So that's probably going to be why they're doing so well in the opening game.
Well, I mean, Frankie literally knows the ins and outs of their opponent here, so in terms of having all the little tips of the tells that the Howler starters have, you have to imagine there isn't loyalty when you change teams in the FBA. The expectation is you're going to do the best to win on the team you're on right now. And that's going to be a game plan here in game 1. It's a very tough opener for Montana to pick to play their former head coach.
Yeah, for sure. As someone who has just been there, who was a huge part of that championship run as well, going up against him as an opponent is not going to be an easy feat for any team in that situation. But now Montana is slowly closing the gap a little bit. We'll see if they get a stop here on the defensive end as San Jose is looking to possibly get something into the paint, but right now it's guarded very well as Karastados going for a mid-ranger, and it's going to be rattled home. So it will expand the lead up to 6 as it's 12-6 and we're close to the 8-minute mark of the first quarter.
Yeah, a slow start for Montana, but they've started to pick it up here, and now it's a question of who they're going to go through, and they seem like they want to go through St. Croix. She was very instrumental in their run, and yeah, Sutter's on the floor for Roth after those 2 fouls. No surprise there. So, that is the benefit of having a veteran of his talent on the bench. Even if you start worrying about how many minutes he can put in per game, he's still going to give you excellent minutes, maybe a little bit less than he used to back when he was in his early 20s.
Yeah, and Cote going to lay it up and in, expanding that lead for San Jose. So right now, Montana is really trying to find some kind of answer to slow down the Thrust, but that's a good way to go ahead and spark this up a little bit, as I believe that was Williamson with the 3.
Yeah, the Wall will be able to absolutely stretch the defense out, and Jose's going to have a hard time. And Adam dunking it down, the Frog getting another basket to fall.
Yeah, Adam Cote really catching St. Croix sleeping in that possession. Very wide open for that easy dunk as the offense just keeps on trucking for San Jose. But meanwhile, Montana really being very inconsistent these past few possessions as another miss goes on there for the Howlers.
Yeah, and it's an interesting fact about the San Jose starting lineup. Another dunk coming down from the Frog. A free agent this last year was brought back, and obvious to see why.
Yeah, 100%. Showing a lot of athleticism there in that possession. Just going to use his speed and quick dunking ability as Williamson's able to go ahead and lay it up and in, finding his way into the paint.
So my quick fact about San Jose, besides Joseph Nah, the other 4 starters have all been free agent acquisitions or were traded for on draft night.
Yeah, a lot of major changes that are happening for the Thrust, and right now it seems to be working as they have been doing a very good job at the start of this opening quarter, giving the Howlers a run for their money.
Yeah, and it's been attacking the paint, obviously, through Adam, the third-year player now. Want to see him step up as DeWitt has taken more of a bench role, and Sutter's getting the second chance opportunity and laying it back up and in is a good way to keep your team in as they're down only by 3 here.
Yeah, the savvy veteran presence of Sutter is really showing dividends here, but of course, as I say that, he will get his first personal of the game, and the Thrust will have an opportunity to get for 2 free throws.
And speaking of that one player who wasn't, that was signed, drafted by San Jose, they actually were traded after their first year to the Texas Lone Stars, but then re-signed with San Jose after their rookie contract. So you could say every player that's a starter for San Jose has a free agent or trade acquisition.
Yeah, that is a very good point, but it really kind of shows of how they were really impressed and wanted to bring him back. But now with a majority of the second unit for both squads coming up, and that's not really something you want to see on the Howlers side, as Adam dishes it over to Fazio, and Fazio gets blocked from behind by Dunbrock, who is coming in for the thrust.
I'm going to give that a generous call of a block, and the poor rookie, first opportunity to get a dunk, and she had it rejected potentially, or she, rimmed it out, which also isn't a great look for her, but...
Yeah, it's just not a great start in general, but, as a rookie, you're not expecting to, rock the world immediately unless you're just, probably, the first pick of the draft.
Do you remember your first basket, though?
I mean, yeah, a little bit, but that was just more so me coming off the bench more so than anything else.
Do you remember your first miss is the better question.
There were so many to count, dude. But, enough about my history in the game. Let's go ahead and get back into the plays that are here around. So Carr gets blocked there, but Fazio is able to try to clean things up. Right now, San Jose up by 4 still, 22-18. San Jose doing really good field goal percentage-wise, 60% compared to Montana's 27.
Yeah, but Montana, as you see, is only down by 4, so... high field goal percentage doesn't mean much if you're letting your opponents get second chance opportunities and getting steals. As it's going to be Cross as she goes up for it, gets fouled. Speaking of, foul starting to go the other way now in Montana's favor.
Yeah, some much needed as they're able to cut the deficit down to 1 possession with the first basket going in. We're seeing a couple of final substitutions that we're now fully getting the second unit out for the thrust. Meanwhile, Cross going for that second shot, and it does rattle home. So Montana only down by 2 this time, 22-20.
And now it's on the thrust, their second unit to step in, and it's going to be Tolsino coming off the bench, and she's able to hit a 3. No need to warm up at all, just coming straight out and hitting it.
Yeah, that's one way to get things started for the year, coming off the bench, and it's a good way to keep the crowd quiet. We had a quick dunk there from Dunbrock. As I was saying that, so Montana's fans right back into it as they're only down by 3. They need to get a stop here as San Jose is looking to try and get into the paint.
Yeah, and Dunbrock, I give a lot of props to in that championship run. Coming off the bench and with Blackburn, the two of them, absolute defensive menace down low in the post as San Jose answers with a bucket. Back to 5 here.
Yeah, right now, Cross. Letting things develop for a little bit as we get a quick screen. Cross really having a tough time trying to find some sort of opening. Instead, dishes it over to Blackburn. Blackburn does have a size advantage, and he will take advantage of that pretty easy as Montana is now only down by 3 once again.
Yeah, back and forth we go. But I don't think Montana's ever had a lead yet tonight. So that's their first goal, I think, before the quarter ends, to get a lead. But that's not the way with fouls and ones. Yeah,
Dunbrock getting called for the blocking foul on that one, as Nita will go on the line for the extra 3. And it will get that old school 3-point play as they're up once again by 6. But right now, it just seems like a little bit of a struggle here as Kelly goes over for an alley-oop to Blackburn, and he dunks it home.
Well, the issue isn't that they're scoring almost, I don't want to say at will, but they're scoring much better than the first 2 minutes of the game. It's just they haven't really done anything to stop San Jose, and they've slimmed the lead down a little bit since that 8-0 run to start the game. It just doesn't feel like they've really clawed back.
Yeah, and Dixon is going to be defended well against Blackburn. And right now, Montana is going to cut the lead even more so with a quick dunk, as they're all only down by 2.
A great fast break. I mean, Montana has the bigs on the floor, so they're a little bit slower on the transition back, and they absolutely utilize that. And it was the rookie Kelly. She laid it up and dunked it down, finding the open lane to the basket. Now a chance to tie it here with a make, or take the lead to beyond the arc.
Yeah, right now Kelly hands it over to Rendall. Rendall doesn't have a lot of time, goes for 3, and it rattles home. And with that, Montana will get its first lead of the game just before the 1-minute mark of the first quarter. And the crowd is now finally losing it as the championship team is in the lead. But that's going to get cut off very quickly by Nito as he leads it down for 2.
Yeah, and Mads, the rookie last year, absolutely did not balk away from the pressure that he was faced with in that FBA finals. He showed up as a rookie and, coming off the bench, was able to provide very significant scoring at times to help push Montana over the Tennessee Moonshiners to take home that championship. And now they pull back ahead by 1 here, and it's going to be a back-and-forth game, it seems like, to start the season.
Yeah, for sure, and they're really showing that here as Nito's able to take the lead for San Jose once again, and now both teams are just trying to fight toe-to-toe to be the one to lead here in the first quarter. But this might be the final possession of the game as Montana is looking to possibly get another shot here. But right now we finally see some quick movement, get a quick screen there. Has some space, goes for that long 2, and it rattles home with 0.7 seconds left. Montana will have the lead, 35-34 as we end the first.
Nice buzzer beater there. I mean, that's a great way to end the first quarter after being down 8-0 to start the game, to come back and have a lead. And not just a lead, but, I mean, they're both scoring very well. Now it's a question of when will the defenses step up for both teams. It looked like the defense was starting strong for San Jose, but they've slipped here, especially once the second unit came on the floor.
Yeah, 100%. I do believe that is to be the case. And as we're starting off the second quarter, we are seeing that a lot of the second units for both teams are going to be playing here, as Fasuo with the rock hands it over to Tolsino. Tolsino going for a long 2, but it's not going to be good there as Roth gets the rebound. Right now, Rendall hands it over the alley-oop, but he hands it over to Blackburn, and Blackburn is able to get it up and in.
Yeah, perfect from the floor thus far. And almost all of them, it's easy to be perfect when you're shooting that close to the basket.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, Montana does have a chance to extend this lead here as Roth with another defensive steal. And this is what we're talking about here as Kelly laying it up, but it's not going to be good this time as they're not able to give it to a 2-possession game.
And San Jose a chance to answer back. Ooh, nutmegged him there. Down to the rookie in the post. Good matchup against Kelly, rookie on rookie. And I'm going to go with the 300-pound center in that matchup as she lays it up and in. Quick play down low in the post. Fade away. Turning around, able to get the basket to fall. Montana. Ahead by 3 here. Dixon down the post, fading away, able to get the rim to support the ball in. Cassandra, I think that might be first FBA basket. Both rookies for San Jose now on the court together. Reverse lane is no good, but Blackburn, second chance opportunity off the glass, not able to convert. Still going for the battle in the post and finally able to make it fall in. It's Blackburn. May have missed his first shot, but able to get the third chance opportunity, maybe fourth chance if you count the fact that he tried to tip it in. I don't know how the stat keepers will keep track of that, but still in the lead here in Montana. It's been off the back of Blackburn here, coming off the bench. Tolsino from beyond the arc trying to tie it up, not able to convert. Mads, fast break, giving it to the hot hand. Down the post, Blackburn gives up to Kelly though, back to Blackburn. They want to play through his paws right now, and he's found a way into the post. Off the iron, no good. The rookie will clean up the glass. Almost tipped there. Gonna retain possession now. It's up to Gwynn. Down low in the paint. Tolsino blocked by Blackburn. Able to recover it though, but shot clock an issue. 5-4. Dixon having to take a quick shot and no good. Roth gonna box out and pull down that rebound. Ooh, reboard. Creating new vocabulary here in the 2023-24 FBA season as Blackburn finds an excellent matchup down low in the post, but decides to dish it back out. Blackburn off the glass is good. 10 points so far, I believe, for Blackburn, if not 8. And of course, timeout need to be called here by San Jose. I probably want to get some substitutions on the floor, maybe try and match up better against Blackburn, because right now he is taking over here. And I feel like that depth at center was really a key factor in being able to make that long run last season and take it all the way through the championship. Barnaby, Crosby, St. Croix, and obviously Blackburn. San Jose coming out of the timeout. Going to give the alley-oop to Adam, and they bring back the Frog as the answer. 8 points now for him. Sutters down the post, backing down. Going up high on the glass over the owl, but not able to convert the shot. Adam. Don't want to see him with the ball in the perimeter. You really want to see him down low in the post. It's going to be Myers trying to get it in. Double teamed almost down there with Jones providing the assist on defense. And it's going to be Jones bringing it up the court. From end to end, able to lay it up and end, even though Tavella was all over him. Myers. Back to Jose. Good screen. Jose finds a lane into the paint and able to convert with the 8-foot jumper. Keeping it within 3 here. Almost halfway done with the second quarter. Roth. Dishing to Birdie. Back to Jones. Shot clock starting to become a problem as Sutters got to take a heave from beyond the arc. Not his range, but ended up in his paws, and the clock was against him. Paint not able to convert there. Williamson will come up with the rock and is going to take it down the other end. Keep an eye on the Wallaby. He can be deadly from beyond the arc. Can build a lead extremely quickly if you leave him space, but no, it's going to be the dance down low in the post, able to lay it up and in. And the field goal percentage has gone the way of the Howlers now as the game has gone on, and that's partially why they built the lead here. Joseph down in the post trying to go. Double team, fouled on the way up by Jones. So Joseph will go to the line to the Dragon an opportunity to get this back within that 3-point difference. Good on both of them. Still a 3-point game here, Marcus.
Yeah, it seems to be the case as right now Montana doing a very good time of keeping the distance there for San Jose. Ever since taking the lead here in the first quarter, but right now Williamson have a chance to extend that, and he will do it right there as Williamson once again extends the lead back up to 6. And the Thrust need to find some kind of answer here to try and calm this down.
Well, and I just talked about how Williamson is such a threat from beyond the arc, and there we go, a turnover. Jones, an opportunity to add to it again. Now 8 points. San Jose might need to call timeout. The, new coach might need to be talking to his team about what they need to be doing right now.
Yeah, it seems like that they're going to continue to play on here. Wanted to really show and get to this environment, but right now the Thrust still trying to get something after that quick block, but they don't have a lot of time yet to come up with a quick play. As going for a desperation mid-ranger, but gets blocked there by St. Croix. And now Montana once again has an opportunity to extend the lead even more so to double digits as Williamson brought us home for 3, and that's when they finally call timeout. What a sequence of events there for the Howlers as they are showing what is up here at home.
Yeah, Frankie finally had enough, maybe realizing he should have called timeout of possession earlier. And, again, I literally had just said they have to keep an eye on Williamson because he can be so deadly from beyond the arc and absolutely build a lead in a blink of an eye. And he does that with 2 quick threes. And thankfully, San Jose will answer back with a quick lay-in off the timeout, but they have to shut down the Wallop.
Yeah, and this is going to be pretty much the challenge here for the Thrust. St. Croix able to go in and dunk it down. The big question really becomes is how are they going to try and mitigate the crowd noise? Because that's going to become a huge factor now as the game goes on, as they will be able to get a quick basket there. Doing the same play once again, using enough speed to go coast to coast to go for a quick layup to try and calm things down a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm not too worried about the crowd with these guys. Ooh, good fadeaway from the polar bear there. These are veterans. They're not really a super young lineup anymore. Obviously, they have 2 rookies coming off the bench that, maybe they'll be a bit more affected by that. And Roth called for his 3rd now, and they're going to sub him out. He hasn't had a lot of play time because of these fouls already.
Yeah, and that's an interesting call there to call this a blocking foul. Is it really didn't seem like there wasn't really any shooting movement. It would just seem like a possible drive to the paint, but no lift up. So that was an interesting call there, brother refs.
Well, they're not going to call it a shooting foul. They're going to call it a non-shooting blocking foul, which, they're going to say he impeded the path to the basket, which that's the point of defense.
There's not much you can really do there in that case, but right now Montana still does have a pretty hefty lead after that miss there from San Jose. They still have a chance to extend the lead even more so as St. Croix has decided to advantage, but instead dishes out to Jones. Jones maybe getting a screen here. He does do it. Jones laying it up, and it's not going to be good there as Myers gets the rebound. But right now the Thrust needs to find a player that can really kind of get them back into it, as Gakar is able to lay it up and in.
Yeah, maybe going through the veteran there might be their best play. And I mean, the good news for Montana is that even if Ross starts getting into foul trouble, they have plenty of bigs on the bench they can bring in, and it's going to be the polar bear once again, laying it up and in. And she became so dangerous last year in the finals, and showing why she's still one of the most dangerous players in the big position here.
Yeah, you really can't go wrong with having a polar bear in the middle of the paint, if you ask me. And right now, St. Croix does it the best out of all of them right now, as Montana looking to probably expand it even more, as Williamson had a wide open look to the basket, but some great moves by Tavella to go for a blocking foul to prevent for the easy scoring there.
Yeah, but Williamson from the free throw line is almost automatic, and even my attempts at caster cursing won't come into effect.
Well, we'll have to see there, as the second one is going to be looked at, and it will go in. So yeah, no caster curse this time. You'd have to eat your words there.
Well, I mean, I believe in Williamson. Not going to betray me. And great hesitation there, finds an open lane to the basket off of it, and Neto coming in from Baltimore off of his rookie deal, already providing a bit of a spark off the bench here for the Thrust.
Yep. Right now, the Thrust are currently down by 9. We get a jump ball here.
Well,
And so,
that's going to be Frankie's adjustment. He's calling double teams now against St. Croix in the post, but good luck against her.
yeah, this is no way. Oh, okay. Somehow the Thrust won that one.
Well, and that was all Neto winning because he intercepted the ball. That was going straight. That St. Croix won the toss. It just got tipped to the one person that Neto was prepared to intercept it from.
Yeah, but Neto not going to make either free throw there, so that possession just seems to have gone to waste, as now Montana has a chance to extend it back to double digits once again. We'll see if they do that, as Rendall has the rock. Instead, this is it to the hot player right now in St. Croix. This is to Kelly. Kelly wide open for 3, and it rattles back home. So instead of possibly cutting down the deficit to a more manageable lead, it once again explodes back up to 12. As San Jose just struggling to find any kind of answer offensively.
Yeah, and I'm going to just say that that's the risk right there. You're going to double team the polar bear, great. You're leaving someone open. And with Montana, they have so many options they can put on the floor to be a 3-point threat. I mean, right now, obviously, they have Rendall and their rookie Kelly on the floor. And both of them are capable of shooting a 3. So double teaming is not necessarily a open and shut case on how to shut down the polar bear.
Yeah, it's really a pick your poison for against the Howlers. That's what makes them so good within this year. But right now, San Jose has a chance to cut it to lead back into single digits as Fossils lays it up and in. They have been trying to attack St. Croix quite often within the paint, or possibly trying to find a way to remove her from there to get some easy layups here. But they need to do something defensively as well, as Dunbar just go ahead and bring it back up to double digits again anyways.
Yeah, it is a quick battle in the post. Multiple times Nod trying to do it all, and you kind of wish a little bit more play development. It's going to be Mads on the other end. Not able to convert, but San Jose a chance. Last possession here.
Yeah, right now, looking to possibly do something, but loses the ball last second, and that'll be the end of the first half, with Montana taking the steal, as the Howlers are going to be up by 10, 68-58.
Yeah, and I'm just going to go ahead and ask you the question while we let the stats roll by. We'll let the fans take a look at that. Do you think this Montana team has the chance to run it back for a back-to-back title here?
Oh, 110%. Like, considering the fact, like, even though they started off slow in this particular matchup here within the opening quarters, that when they found their groove, they just seemed untouched throughout really the middle of the first quarter and really all of the second quarter for the most part. And it really comes down to the fact of being able to utilize St. Croix and her size, as well as the other bigs, while also being able to force their opponents to double team the bigs and leave everybody else open. It's literally a pick your poison if you don't have the right matchups.
Yeah, and I mean, we haven't talked too much about Birdie. Birdie's been quiet tonight. A big factor in, both Birdie and Williamson coming in as free agent acquisitions last year. Together, able to, really make that backcourt so dangerous for Montana Howlers. The fact that they were able to bring pretty much and keep their entire starting lineup and a lot of their key bench players into this next year, they are without a doubt the team to beat, the team that Vegas is gonna have with the best odds to win the championship. Even though that means the spotlight is going to be on them, and they're going to have a lot more attention placed on them and how to beat them going into this year.
Yeah, 100%. I think a huge target is going to be on their backs to figure out how to beat this team. But Montana really doesn't have to, really are just going to embrace that and just say, okay, hit us with your best shot, because there hasn't been a lot of changes within the Howlers lineup as a whole. And they are aiming to possibly get some good opportunities here to have once again, one of the top of the standings at the end of the year.
Yeah, and I mean they're obviously. This might be the last year that they can afford to keep all their players together. Is the other thing.
Yes, that is also very true.
Let's just let them hand the stats over to me on their roster. St. Croix will be going into free agency this year. She's already the most well compensated player on the team. It's a
Woo.
massive dunk there coming in from Birdie. I talked about him being quiet, and apparently that upset him a little bit at half.
Yeah, Birdie finally get a chance to get some answers going offensively, and you're expecting if he starts getting hot in the second half, the Thrusts are going to be in a lot of trouble. But of course, as I say that, LaVoy Williams gets drawn for the foul, so Joseph Na will go on the line for two.
But yeah, let's. I'm gonna dive back into looking at these salary cap situation for Montana. They have Mads, Blackburn, St. Croix, Crosby, Cross, all going into free agency next year. And
Yeah,
I could argue that Mads and Blackburn might be starters on some other teams out there, and they're going to potentially get offered starter level money.
yeah, for sure. I can easily see that being the case. It's really hard to try and keep a championship team together and even being able to run it back because there's some new things that you can learn as the year goes on, and it'd be pretty darn difficult to try and keep everything together for so long. But right now, Montana really showing that they are not afraid to be able to embrace the fact that they are the ones to be targeted and just going tit for tat for any team as they're doing here against the Thrust. Beyond the Thrust, doing a pretty good job of keeping the offense going as vehicle percentage is still pretty high between both franchises.
Yeah, it's really been the turnover, second chance opportunities that's just started going the way. We saw Blackburn with 2 offensive rebounds to be able to get the third chance bucket, and another foul on Tavella. Third quarter, second foul, plenty of time has already elapsed, but you're not too worried about foul trouble at this point. But Birdie is starting to wake up, and he had stayed pretty quiet. They had kept him contained, and maybe now in the second half, just starting to remind people, hey, don't forget I'm also here, and I can also make your night, your Howlereen a nightmare.
Yeah, easily, and because he has been one of the biggest impact players within the finals for the Howlers. So he was gonna wake up eventually within this game, and it looks like that it's now the time, and it's up to San Jose to find a way to contain that duo between Williamson and Boy Williams.
Yeah, and I mean, just this team is honestly scary to me in the fact that the chemistry that they've built last year and are going to bring into this year, and how much more difficult it is going to be to take the West from them. Is a foul against Cote. That's his first. Cross will head to the line for one after for an and one opportunity.
Yeah, Cross being pretty quiet this game could possibly get the 5th point here, as she will do just that. So Montana's now once again up by 11, 77-66. We'll see how well this goes as we get a quick pass to Myers. Myers lays it up, and it's in, and it's good. So while Montana does have a nice little cushion right now so far in the middle of the third, San Jose's doing a pretty good job from preventing it from becoming more of a disaster within the third quarter, but they need to find a way to go ahead and get some good stops and make a possible run here. And that's not going to happen with Williamson going for an easy layup like that.
Yeah, now Williamson, you see 17 points here tonight. Absolutely killing it. And it was those threes that got it all going in that second quarter. And they really haven't had an answer for the Wallaby yet. And they're right there. Montana doubled the offensive rebounds compared to San Jose.
And right now, Lavoie heads it over to Williamson, and Williamson lays it up. No good once again as Myers gets the rebound. And Nah being able to dunk it down very easily as they cut the deficit once again down by 9. But is it going to matter?
Well, they need to get more stops on defense here, and they're just not able to. As another layup and in just falls across. Got blocked early in the game, but starting to find a little bit of space to get the buckets to fall as the rest of the team becomes more of a threat on the scoring side. Leaves a little bit more space for the other players to find holes in the defense.
Yeah, for sure. And now, Nah trying to lay it up, and it's not going to be good. Nah trying to do a little bit of everything nowadays as the game goes on, but he's really calmed down a little bit as Williamson hands it over to St. Croix. And St. Croix trying to make some moves to finally get that ball into the basket as they're now up by 13.
Yeah, I want to look at the stats at the end of the game, but I would be shocked if she's going to get the 20-20. And oh, a huge dunk! Alley-oop by the Frog there. Adam. Not Tavella, the other one.
Yeah, I mean, you are seeing some great sparks here for the Thrust as they're able to get a stop this time on the defensive side. But right now, they can't be giving away possessions like that as Rossley would intercept the ball.
Yeah, the Hawk has intercepted quite a few passes already. They got to be a little bit more careful with how they're dishing down low in the post. And you know, those are the extra possessions going the way. And oh, speaking of Adam, he's going to strip Williamson. Now, Nah, fast break opportunity. Fouled on the way up. A chance for an and one.
And that's something you really want to see if you're a Thrust fan, to be honest with you. And as we're going to see some major substitutions on the Thrust side, most likely on the Montana side as well, as Nah is able to cut a deficit down to 8. So right now it's 83-75 so far in halfway through the third quarter. All right, now Blackburn hands it up to Cross, and Cross goes for an alley-oop to Jones. So yeah, Montana still not slowing down for a minute, not being phased by the offensive prowess of the Thrust, and really doing a good job of trying to keep their distance as they once again able to get a stop there against the Thrust, and Montana has a chance to extend it even more so.
Yeah, San Jose just not able to chip away at this, it seems. As soon as it looks like they might, Montana comes up with a steal, block, or something to get ahead again. And, you know, Montana hasn't given up the lead since they built a little bit of a gap. And now it's going to be on San Jose. Can they answer back and actually put a little bit of a run together? That's what they need to do here.
Yeah, I mean, the Thrust do have a capable team on their paws right now, but these moments are going to matter if they're able to try and make this more into a game on the road here against a very tough opponent in the Howlers. And that's not going to go down this time once again. And Montana has a chance to extend it to the largest lead of the game at 14 or 15 if they make this basket.
Yeah, Nah needs to potentially start dishing the ball a little bit more out. He's trying to put the back, you know, the weight of the team on his back and carry the scoring. It's just not working. Blackburn, though, 14 coming off the bench. Great night for him.
Yeah, very efficient night. 7 for 9 in this instance. Really be able to use his body to get into the paint and go for those easy buckets. And right now, we see Nah trying to get into the paint once again, and he is once again not going to be able to get it down this time. And now we have a chance to see Montana continue to slowly expand this lead with another basket, as they are just making this into a pretty much getting to a point where it's out of hand.
Yeah, I mean, Nah has put up points, yes, but 8 for 20. When the rest of the team's field goal percentage is at the 60%, you have to start dishing the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, it's not really a time to play hero ball, especially when Montana does not seem to be slowing down at any point so far, as they continue to extend it even more so. But now the Thrust forced to call another timeout and try to figure out what are they going to do here to possibly get back into this game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they can get back in this game when they haven't really had an answer to shut down Montana. They're about to break 100, and we're only in the third quarter here. And I'm not gonna say their defense hasn't been existent. Maybe it's Montana just being a little bit too overwhelming for them, uh,
Yeah,
especially the
that does.
bigs.
Yeah, like I said, the bigs really played a huge role within the run to the finals for the Howlers because of the fact that their size being too much to overcome for a lot of teams during their run. But now Montana really showing that that's not gone away at any point. We get a quick dunk there. Good opportunity to just show how extensive the bigs are with that one as they're now up by 15 once again. And man, it's just you just got to be in awe with how well they've been playing so far in the opening um in this opening game.
Yeah, and if they if we remove the first 2 minutes of this game, it's been all Montana it seems since then. And they ended the first quarter 1 point difference, 35 total points, 34 to San Jose. But San Jose just has not been able to keep up that scoring frenzy that they had in the first quarter. And Montana has just not let off the gas at all here.
Yeah, you got to give credit to the defense of Montana as well, being able to find some of the deficiencies in the San Jose Thrust, with their game plan, and really not giving them a lot of options to score. Of course, they do get the basket there as they're only down by 13, but they need to
Only.
also yeah, only. But they are gonna get a stop here, so that's gonna be something good as we are about 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Fazio gets another dunk there. And as soon as I said that they're up by a good margin, San Jose starting to wake up a little bit, trying to see if they can cut this deficit down to be more manageable, to perhaps make this more of an interesting fourth quarter as we're only under 2 minutes left in the third.
Yeah, that was a massive dunk from the rookie, and honestly, the rookies tonight have done pretty well for the first game. First real game in the FBA preseason. Some of them are going to have some nerves, but this is legit. This is the show. You know, preseason was kind of your audition, and now you're actually in front of a real audience.
Yep.
And I think they've both kind of done well for both teams here tonight.
Yep, Nito with a nice little finger roll to cut the deficit down to 11. But you are right that this is, especially in this kind of stage in really a playoff atmosphere in the opening, as your opener for the season, it's a very tough task for any rookie to really get in, no matter which side you're on. But both have been playing very well. Assassino going for a long three, and it's not going to go down this time. Right now, Kelly backing up a little bit. Trying to see him get a steal, but hands it over to Rendell. Rendell hands it up to Blackburn. Blackburn laying it up, and it is good. So with that, Montana does break the century mark, 101-88, right before the third quarter. We'll see if San Jose is able to try and get it up to 90, and they do just that.
Yeah, Roth better be careful. Missing so many minutes of this game with foul trouble. Blackburn has absolutely shown up and maybe making a case for there to be a competition down the big for battle for starter and an absolute massive dunk. I think there's almost 20 points off the bench for the Timberwolf tonight.
Yeah, right now bigs have really been the key factor of how well the Howlers are doing, and Neto's able to lay it up and in. But right now it has been the Howlers all day. Really, they have not been able to be able to slow down at any point. It's right now. Get a quick mid-ranger, and it's good.
Yeah, San Jose hoping that would have missed. Down by 13. They were within 11 there just a moment ago. And 11, I always say the double-digit line is where you kind of want to be within, or at least very close to it. The further away you are from it, the harder it is to make a serious comeback. But 12 minutes left to go in this game. only 13 points. I know I kind of joked that it, only calling that only. If they can get a good defensive push going here in this final quarter, and their offense can, step it up just a little bit, I think they can still get back into this game.
Yeah, and Frankie could possibly do it here, but that's not how you want to see things started off in the opening quarter, as Montana still showing that offensive prowess. As while the field goal percentages have been close, it's really the second chance opportunities and the fouls really helping uh, the the Howlers keeping that extensive lead. But the Thrust really need to find some kind of clean stops and really prevent making some very boneheaded decisions on both ends.
Yeah, like I said, they looking forward beyond this game. It's the game's not done yet, as Mads is going to throw up a last-second heave. Uh, any takeaways for San Jose going into their next game? What they need to do to be more competitive early?
Well, I really think it's just trying to clean up the small mistakes throughout this game. Like I said, there's still a lot of time left. And as I said, they need to find a way to not be able to make some silly mistakes as the game goes on and not really let themselves be rattled, because I feel like there's a lot of mental mistakes here as Karastatos gets called for the foul, and Rendall's going to go on the line for another old school 3-point play, and it goes down.
And what I'm seeing here tonight is Montana's bench might be as scary as they're starting to line up, as I believe Mads and Blackburn both may have put up 20 points coming off the bench. And if that's the case, the league might be in trouble.
Yeah, both players really just showing that they have starter material for any team, really. But right now, they're going to go for a mid-ranger there for the Thrust, and once again, it's not going to be good. And that is certainly going to be one of those things, is that while the Thrust, you can say, has done very well, they have scored 94 points around up to about 10 minutes left of the game. That's a pretty good look offensively, as we get a nice rattled home 3 there. But it's just the fact that Montana is just, once they're able to get that cushion, it's going to be hard to find a way to climb back, and they are the current chance for a reason.
Yeah, it's and right there, Joseph Naw, 8 of 20 to get to the 21 points, whereas Williamson 8 of 12 to get to 21 points, and it's just, you might have the same stat line in terms of total points, but how efficiently you get there really does matter.
Yeah, efficiency is one of the most important things about basketball. Being able to be tactical with your shot selection and not trying to force some unwarranted baskets, and that's something that could probably be one of the stories here into this game. I'm sure things will get cleaned up as the season goes on for the Thrusters. I will say that even though that they haven't really, this isn't really the best outing to start off with for the season, there are some good positive points there for if you're a Thrust fan.
Yeah, and as we see Myers laying it up with the glass, I feel like Montana's offense has just been a little too much. And we got to keep in mind, they do have a new coach, so they may have kept a bit of Frankie's designs. Ooh, massive dunk there from Birdie. As I was going to say, the offensive playbook for Montana may have updated a bit since Frankie's departure. So, we're seeing technically a little bit of a new Montana as well with how they are choosing to play their play style.
Yeah, the operation is really one of the key factors here, as Montana's now up by 19, 120 to 101 with 8 minutes left of the game. And right now, we're seeing the quick mid-ranger, as things have kind of calmed down a little bit defensively, Montana, I would think, as they seem to be a little bit on cruise control, but I can't blame them since they're up by 17.
Well, you say cruise control, but Birdie's just trying out for the dunk contest right now.
I mean, isn't that the definition of cruise control? Being able to just show off some moves?
Cruise control is you continue at the same speed without having to touch the gas pedal. Birdie said, you know what, I'm going to merge at 100 miles an hour and see how this goes.
Hey, Cruz's definition can change depending on the person, I think.
Well, Birdie needs to stick to the Autobahn and get off of the back roads because absolutely crushing the glass with those dunks. And this time they're going to give it to Roth. You know what, Birdie, fine. I'm not going to dunk it. I'm going to give it to someone else. And alley-oop pass to the Hawk. Let him fly and dunk it down instead. And giving the fans something to cheer for. Don't let them fall asleep in their seats here.
Yeah, for sure. But right now, Montana doing really just going over for really playing up to their strengths here and just showing the reason why they are the team to beat this year, as they are up by 20. And they didn't really have to do too much as we get a quick pass over to Gakar, and Gakar lays it up, and it's good. And the Howler's going for a timeout, which is a little bit surprising here.
I think they want to fully bring their starters back in. Rendall's on the floor still, and not to say that Rendall needs to be benched for any kind of performance reason, but I feel like the dead ball, they hadn't had a dead ball situation in a long time, and there you do see both teams are going to bring in their full lineup. Adam back on the floor for San Jose, and St. Croix going to come in for Dunbrock, and Cross back in for Rendall.
Yeah, so right now both starting lineups are back in the fray for both teams. We'll see if San Jose's starting lineup can try to bring them back into it, but they have a tough task against the starting lineup of the Howlers, which just seems like an all-star team at this moment.
Well, it's just going to hit a quick three coming off the bench once again. You know, just I've been sitting a little while across. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, right now, Adam having a really tough time against St. Croix, and St. Croix isn't gonna be able to defend against that. Some really good use of athleticism there from Conte, as they are now once again down by 19. Williamson possibly looking for somebody. He does send it over to Cross. Cross gets the quick screen from St. Croix, going for a mid-ranger, and it's good. Getting a nice little opening there to go ahead and give you that good shot as Cross having a decent game. 14.6 assists so far into the game. And once again, the ball is lost. Another turnover as Roth goes with a quick finger roll, bring it back up to 23.
Yeah, game's out of gotten a little bit out of control. They're even double teaming now. Montana, they're not willing to give any gaps, and they're not going to calm down at all. There is no cruise control in this car. Only an uncontrollable train going down the hill towards the next FBA playoffs.
Yeah, right now we get another miss there with Roth with another rebound. Williamson brings it up to Roth. Roth has the opportunity to go ahead and get something going, but a quick turnover there as Karastados being able to steal the ball quite easily there. As now the Thrust has a chance to probably cut this down a little bit, and they aren't going to be able to do it in that possession. As we get another rebound for St. Croix, and now Montana has a chance to extend it. Get a dish all the way across the cross. Cross is over to St. Croix, and we get a nice layup and in as Montana up by 25. And I think it's pretty much safe to say that this game is basically done, and I would not be surprised.
It looks like both teams are ready to send in some of their bench to finish out. No one wants to have an injury early in the season in bonus time, essentially. But obviously, San Jose could still, if they get a stop and a quick three, they could maybe keep their starters out and try and go for it.
Yeah, but this is going to be a very tough task. We go for a long two there, but Williamson gets the rebound. Williamson leads it up, and it will be a miss there as Kate does get the board.
Not to be mean, but that might be like one of Williamson's 10 offensive rebounds this year. The poor Wallaby was surrounded, and somehow the ball ended up in his paws nonetheless.
Hey, he is a small boy, but you can't help but really admire the toughness and the greediness to get into the paint and try and get that one. We get a quick block there, and great defense there for the thrust.
Yeah, I believe that was Adam, and Adam gonna
Ooh.
get the spinning alley-oop dunk there. Back within 21, 14 points tonight for the third-year player.
Yep, and Adam to Adam action there as we see St. Croix doing it. Anything you can do, I can do better
Well,
with an alley of her own, but more of an alley layup.
I'm
In
gonna
a
give
way.
her a 3 on that. That was really weak sauce coming out from the polar bear.
I mean, it still went in, and they still have a big lead. So who really wins in this scenario?
I mean, yeah, they win, but you just said she could do it better, and I'm like, eh. And she's gonna goaltend, so
Oh, I mean, you can afford these kind of mistakes. It doesn't matter 2 minutes. You can afford these mistakes.
no. San Jose, even though they just subbed in all their bench players, are gonna score 21 points and go to overtime
Yeah,
in 90
100%.
seconds.
Just gonna see nothing but 3 after 3.
Yeah, Dylan, who came from Montana to San Jose Thrust, is now going to absolutely lead the comeback.
Yeah, well, St. Croix being able to lay it up and in to kind of dash those dreams as they're up once again by 23. We'll see if Bolsino gets a little bit of a screen. Trying to find a way into the paint, and it is going to go down this time despite being stacked on, having Howlers stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, and the field goal percentage right there is just it got out of control in the second and third quarter, and Montana just was not missing, and San Jose was not stopping them in any way. And the polar bear getting a little chippy with the young Adam. She puts the first in, and that's 140, and a big
Oh,
scoring night to start for Montana, that's for sure.
yeah, for sure. That is something that you really didn't expect to see in the opening quarter, seeing over 140 points. But since we're closing things out right now, how are you feeling about these special jerseys? I'm just curious.
I mean, I think they may have talked to a psychologist about finding ways to distract their opponent because they have absolutely dominated tonight. And maybe the jerseys will continue going forward because of that, even though I think the FBA front office may have some issues with a non-stop alt jersey night for the team until they lose or something.
That'd be a very interesting thing to do, though. I'm very curious where the green comes from in this scenario because I don't remember having green under their color scheme.
Maybe they're sponsored by Mountain Dew. No, I'm more concerned about what their away jersey looks like, if anything. If this is
Oh
their home
boy.
jersey, what would their away one look like? Is Gwen bidding almost buzzer beating 3 to pull it back within 22, and I think Montana's gonna just dribble it out here to end the night, and an absolute barn burner, 143 to 121. 121 is usually enough to say you had a good night, but Montana was almost perfect as we scroll through the stats, and I want to see the bench players because I know Williamson and St. Croix were strong off the starting lineup, but I feel like the bench for Montana had their coming out tonight as they were
Oh
over Dahl
yeah.
23 points, Blackburn 20 points. So 2 of the top 3 scorers came off the bench for Montana.
And and another big thing about it is that the efficiency.
Yeah, they
10
missed
for
5 shots
13.
between them.
Yeah, that's crazy to me of how well both of those players have done throughout that one. It's just that kind of ability to make that off the bench is scary for any team to witness, and it's something that they're gonna have to be keen on as these games goes on and seeing if they really want to go ahead and bench their starters. If bench players like that have nights.
Well, we can't discount Rustlin coming off the bench for San Jose, also putting up 21 points. You know, tonight may have been the night of the bench players, honestly. both doing well. I mean, obviously, uh, Russell had more minutes. I feel like just because he got hot, so they kept him in.
Hmm.
But still coming off the bench, and you're right. And Montana will probably look at that and say, okay, we can afford to play a little bit more loose. Knowing that okay, we still have Rindal, Barnaby, Dunbrock, and Blackburn able to come in. So yeah, Andy Roth had foul trouble, but they still had Sutters, Blackburn, and Dunbrock able to come in and just dominate the post. And but San Jose kept it close in multiple quarters. They just weren't able to keep up in the second and fourth comparatively.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the paint has been one of the big answers. Like the Howlers bigs are scary. That's probably the best, simplest way to say this is that the bigs of the Montana Howlers are probably one of uh the scariest big for depth in all of the FBA right now. And so that's something you're going to have to go up against night after night. And that's something that a lot of coaches are going to look into and saying, how are we going to go ahead and slow these guys down? Because that depth within the paint is gruesome, especially if you're a small ball team.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine a team that's running uh, 6'9" power forwards how they're gonna look up at the black, and we saw this in the playoffs last year, the finals. They love to put Blackburn and Dunbrock together on the floor, and those are two giant players. Blackburn is 7'5", you know, and Dunbrock is not that much shorter at 7'4". So they get a 1-2 power combo going off the bench like that, and you can stop one of them usually, but the other one's just wide open. And I want to point out for both teams, almost half their scoring came from the bench. I mean, it did come from the bench
Hmm.
for the Howlers, and San Jose was just a point or two off from being exactly half. So the bench played great tonight for both teams, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a lot to really kind of like go in and study for future games as we go along here in the season. And I gotta say, I'm very excited to see how things play out. It seems like San Jose could be a dark horse. You never know. It Yeah, this game didn't really show um that too much. You look at the scoreboard, but they have a lot of bright spots coming into this as well. They showed their athleticism. They came out swinging early on in this game, and if they're able to contain that throughout it, we could be talking about a whole different story. So
Well, not
that's
just
something that we got to look into.
not just that, but you got to remember they just brought in a new coach, and
Hmm.
he's only had the off season to really have an opportunity to start developing this team into the look he wants play style wise. And you got to keep in mind they also lost their starting small forward Kenji Frost. So they're still trying to find themselves now in this new lineup what they're going to look
Yep.
like. So San Jose is a team that is going to get better as Frankie builds more rapport with the team and starts to better understand them.
Yeah.
And
It's
B, I pray to God that the Howlers aren't going to get better because we might have some. Uh, we might be watching them in the finals again if tonight is a everyday kind of day for them going
oh,
forward.
jeez. Yeah, that's gonna be a very scary sight. But I will say that at the end of this first game, I'm very excited to see how everything plays out. Because if we have more games like this, I'm very curious as to how the rest of the league really plays out here as things as we close things out.
Yeah. Any final thoughts before we close out the night of our first FBA game of the 2024 season?
Yeah, I'm all I gotta say is that this is a, once again another great game to pretty much start things off as we go ahead and continue on with this tradition. But now the ball is really on the rest of the team's court as we wait to see how things develop for each and every team as we move on.
Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in. We will see you next time. Uh, Sports End schedule will be fully released soon. So keep an eye out to see when your favorite team is playing and who they'll be matched up against.
All right, see ya.